Hi, I'm Leo. I play guitar for the bands Flat Lever and the Dirty Humbuckers. Today I'll be doing my first ever guitar unboxing. Recently purchased a Gibson Les Paul Tribute Special from Sweetwater. It just got here. I'm looking forward to opening it up, checking it out, and plugging it in, and having some fun. Full transparency, I own a bunch of Gibsons, mostly Les Pauls, but I also have an SG and a Firebird. I also own a bunch of Fenders. I feel like the greatest albums of all time have been recorded with those guitars. And most of my influences play them as well. So if it's good enough for those guys, it's good enough for me. That all said, I'm going to be completely honest with the way this guitar got to me. It's setup, its look and feel, its playability, and we'll go from there. But I'm looking forward to getting started, so let's check it out. So here it is. Let's give it a try. I'll take out my little razor here, and hopefully this doesn't take too long. So it's obviously not the hard shell case. This is Gibson's first line of USA made guitars. So entry line, I should say, of USA made guitars. I guess I should check front pockets first. Got a Gibson Strat. So we got a cloth. Gibson cloth, or whatever they call it. Guitar candy. Warranty info. Got a photo of the guitar. Pretty cool. You know, just paperwork, serial numbers, and Sweetwater's 24 inspection, point inspection. But I mean, it's all about this. It's all about the guitar. So let's check it out. There it is. Okay, so inspected by Daniel at Sweetwater. Pretty nice satin finish. So far, so good. Some scratches here, but I assume this just comes off. I like it. Action's pretty good. I've seen lower, but it's definitely pretty good. And let's check out how it sounds. Do a sound test. So before we plug this in and give this a test run, first things first, this is a Gibson Les Paul Tribute Special. It's sort of Gibson's stripped down, no frills Les Paul, first line of USA made Les Pauls. It also is available in walnut, white, and cherry wood. This is the ebony satin finish, mahogany slab body, and you know, looks as good as advertised. No complaints, no surprises, which is a good thing. So general observations, first impressions, if you will. The guitar is extremely lightweight. It comes in at a little over 7 pounds. I believe this one here is at 7 pounds 2 ounces, which is a welcomed relief on my back. You know, definitely, you know, so relieves sort of the strain on my back, especially for those longer gigs, 3-set gigs. My other Gibsons weighing around 10, they're in that 10 to 13 pound range. This being at a little over 7 pounds is definitely a welcomed addition to my my Gibson collection. So certainly no complaints there. One of the reasons why I like the guitar, and definitely change of pace, and much needed again for those longer gigs. Number two, I really like the wood grain finish throughout the guitar. It is a satin finish. So it's definitely not glossy or shiny, very light coating of lacquer. And I really dig, the fact that you could see the wood grains throughout the guitar, front and back. Gives it sort of that old, aged, vintage look, a worn look. I think in time it's going to age even better and give it more of that vintage vibe. So I like that a lot. And again, that was also a reason why I was really interested in this guitar. So very cool. Number 3, humbuckers. This guitar is available in either a humbucker style or loaded with P90. So I chose humbuckers. It's the 490R and the 490T. I chose humbuckers because I just like humbuckers and Les Pauls. P90s are great. I do have P90s in other guitars, but when it comes to Les Pauls, I just prefer humbuckers. It's a matter of style and preference. Certainly recommend you check out, if you're interested in this guitar, check them out in either and see what works for you and what you like. Again, for me, it was, humbuckers all the way with Les Pauls. Maybe a good topic for conversation for another YouTube segment, but just style preference to me. So, number 4, fretboard. I was relieved to see that there's definitely no sharp edges, which is good. Dot inlays, which isn't very common in Les Pauls today. It'll be my only guitar, my only Les Paul with dot inlays. My other guitars have the traditional bar inlays. Cool, different, and I like it. It also has a thicker neck, C-shape. I guess circumference, if that's the right word, but it's thicker, definitely not slim taper. And all my other Gibsons are, I think most of my other Gibsons are thinner, which is interesting because the body itself is really thin, which makes sense. Less wood, less weight, and this guitar specifically, it's very thin design. Except for the neck, which is kind of a thicker C shape, which is good, and it's definitely not too thick, because I certainly wouldn't like it if it was too much of a curve or too much meat on the neck. So that's the fretboard. Number 5, probably the most important 2 factors for me, saving the most crucial for last or the best for last. The action and intonation I found to be set up perfectly. The action is probably set up, right out of the box to Gibson specifications. Not too high for sure, not too low. Don't think we're gonna have any buzzing issues. And I think it's more low than it is high. It's perfect. I have purchased guitars that had lower action, some which have buzzed, which is not a good thing. Some that were perfect. I think this is while it's not ultra low, it's definitely low, and I think it's kind of just right. Intonation is really important. Obviously, intonation's all about having the notes maintain their pitch or keep their pitch throughout the fretboard, wherever you are on the board. Some guitars that lose their intonation or come with bad intonation that aren't set up right will either be too sharp or too flat in certain places or certain notes throughout the fretboard, or typically on the higher section of the board. But this was spot on, so definitely relieved to see that. Very important to me, especially given that this is an old school tailpiece, a saddle bridge, or whatever you call it. I don't think there's much room for adjustment in this old school style of bridge. So, obviously it makes it even more important that the guitar comes set up right from an intonation standpoint, and I think Gibson, did a good job there. So kudos to them. That said, for when you're spending that kind of money, $1,000, which is what this is gonna cost you here in the U.S., it should be right. The action intonation should be right. So kudos for Gibson for doing it. Making sure that you're getting what you paid for in terms of, at least from a setup standpoint. We're gonna plug it in now and see how it sounds and plays, and take it from there. All right, so I'm plugged into my Marshall DSL 40 combo amp. I'm about ready to get going here. Please pardon the crude production value. I'm using an iPhone camera. I'm not plugged into it with a microphone or anything. I'm just gonna wing it. So give me a little bit of slack. It is my first ever guitar demo on YouTube, but we're just gonna have some fun. Hopefully you get something out of it from a sound perspective. I'm gonna run through some cleans. I'll also do sort of a clean crunch tone and more of a heavy gain tone as well, and then maybe do some leads, and we'll call it a day, and hopefully you get something out of it, and we'll go from there. Thanks. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for checking out my first guitar unboxing and review. I had a lot of fun recording it. I hope you got something out of it as well. Overall, I really dig this guitar. While it didn't make me a better guitar player, it's comfortable to play, looks, feels, and sounds great, which is what you really want out of a guitar anyway. If you're in the market for a no frills Les Paul that's lighter on your back and easier on your wallet, this is probably the best option out there for you today. I will say, if you are interested in this guitar, you check it out in both the Humbuckers and the P90s and see what works best for you. We'll also point out that the neck is a little bit thicker than some of the modern Les Pauls today. Don't think it's slim taper, it might be, but again, I did notice a little bit more of a chunk in the neck, but still certainly comfortable to play, and I enjoyed playing it. Kudos to the folks at Gibson and Sweetwater for making sure that the setup came properly. The action is nice and low. The intonation is spot on. So overall, thumbs up for me. It's a keeper. Certainly recommend you check it out. And that's about it. Again, thanks for sticking around and see you on the other side.
I can't be late, the job is on the line. But the sun is shining, I just can't wait. Gotta get outside. I call my boss and
You got to be kidding.
make it sound real.
You got another one?
My dog just died, I can't get a ride. You know I don't got any wheels. But I'm down to my last excuse. Someone give me something I can use. Well, I'm down to my last excuse. Someone give me something I can use. My last excuse.
Also want to point out that this neck does have a thicker neck than most modern Les Pauls today. It's a it's not a slim taper. It's a ultra thick neck that I think you'd love.